Hello. Here's the question. How much control does a president have on car insurance rates? Because one of the leading contenders has promised to cut the increase in half. So we're going to look into that. We're going to look into how auto insurance rates are calculated. Why have we seen this huge increase in premiums? And we're going to show you some ways to get less expensive rates so you're not paying so much for the car insurance that you need. So head over to FreeAdvice.com, enter your zip code into their quote comparison tool, and you can compare many quotes at one time and hopefully save hundreds of dollars a year on coverage. So let's get right into this here. In Insurance News Net, there's an article that says, if elected, could Trump actually lower auto insurance rates? Because he made a statement that auto insurance rates are up 73%, and then a promise, vote for Trump, I'll cut that number in half. So does that mean that 73% increase will be knocked down to half of that, to like 36.5%? Or are the total premiums going to be cut in half? I'm not really sure, but here you can see the tweet itself right here, a screenshot of it anyway. So is that possible? Because who's going to turn that down, right? So let's look over here at III.org, insuranceinformationinstitute.org, and they have, they're a great source for insurance information, unbiased, and they have an article here, what determines the price of an auto insurance policy, and you'll see these factors, your driving record, probably the biggest deal, how much you use your car. If you use your car more, you're at a higher risk of being in an accident or filing a claim. Location. Now this is going to have to do with the state you live in, the city you live in, even the neighborhood you live in. And then factors that are related to you that you really can't change, like your age, your gender, and the car you drive. Now, you have some control over that. So can a president change those things? Well, not really. The president can't change your driving record, can't change where you live, and the rules for car insurance are made on a state level. So it's hard to see how the federal government could change things that are run by the states. The state, that's why you have different requirements if you live in Pennsylvania, or if you live in South Dakota, or you live in California, you have different requirements because each state has different requirements because they make their own rules. So what you need to do if you want to find lower rates is head over to FreeAdvice.com, click on their auto insurance comparison, enter your zip code, answer some questions, and you can compare rates and see if maybe switching would get you better rates today. So let's go back over to this original article here because it has some interesting insights here. You see, it says right here, from 2014 to 2017, you were seeing an average increase of about 7% a year. And then the pandemic hit and people weren't out driving, and insurance companies were making a lot of money because they weren't paying anything out in claims. And so then the increase went more to a 1% a year increase. And then if you average that all out, the price of insurance premiums kind of kept pace with inflation, kind of grew how you would expect it to grow. Now, this loss ratio, combined ratio here that they talk about has to do with how much money an insurance company makes. If a insurance company's combined ratio is below 100%, they are making a profit. If it's above 100%, taking a loss. So insurance companies can't take a loss or they can't operate anymore, and they're not going to do you any good as an insurance company. So you definitely want your insurance company to have a combined ratio in the 90s or so. So they're making enough money to stay profitable, but they're not making so much money that they're gouging prices. So you can see in 2020, it was 89%. And that's why you saw a lot of those discounts going out in 2020, because insurance providers were making too much money. And so as a step of good faith to their customers, they offer discounts. But then we see this big change in 2022 with combined ratios being at 113%, and that's not sustainable. And so then you see the auto insurance rates just skyrocket. And so why is this happening? Well, first of all, distracted driving crashes accounted for 8% of all fatal crashes, 14% of injury crashes, and 13% of all police reported motor vehicle traffic crashes in 2021. So distracted driving is leading to an increase in crashes. And then you're seeing that parts are more expensive. Everything has advanced sensors, and they have to be compatible with whatever car you're driving. So it's not like, oh, let me just go get this generic part. No, now I have to get the part that's made for my model of car because it has the sensors that are going to match with it, and that's more expensive. So these safety features that are supposed to help a car keep car insurance premiums down are actually more expensive and leading to higher rates because they're harder to find and they are more expensive to replace. So what can a president do? What can a president do? I would not be surprised if the former President Trump has an actual idea behind what he's saying. But on the surface, it does not seem like there's much that he can do because it's run by the states. It's based on factors that are specific to the driver, to where they live. Insurance companies have to remain solvent or they can't offer coverage. So if their costs are rising, they have to increase premiums. So what can the federal government do to knock those rates down? And I don't know if it may have to do with sourcing parts. It may have to do with insurance laws and lawsuits and things like that. Those are things that can also drive prices up. So there may be steps. It's just unclear what those steps would be. But for you today, you may not have to pay the prices that you've been paying. Head over to FreeAdvice.com. So I'm going to click over here to FreeAdvice.com, and you can see right at the top here, they have where you can compare auto insurance quotes. So you click into the zip code, you put your zip code in there, get quotes. It saves time, and it's just an important thing to do every 6 months, or if you face a life change, you're going to want to compare quotes because you could save a lot of money. Just because something was right for you 10 years ago doesn't mean it's a good fit now. And the only way to know is to compare. So to answer the question, can a president lower car insurance premiums? It's possible. I just don't know exactly how. But there are some things that possibly could happen to make car insurance lower for everybody. And that would be a good thing. But it's a little unclear because it's a state-run, not a federally run program. And car insurance companies have to make a profit to stay in business. So they can't just lower prices just to be nice, because then they won't be able to offer protection.